What is up, people? BP here, and today we are going to basically look at some dating tips. I don't know if this is going to work out as I planned. This might actually turn out to be a disaster, but that's okay because guess what? I have Christmas lights behind my head that halfway work, and I'm pretty darn proud of that. But aside from that, well, this guy here playing with fire, he is quite the pickup artist. And the reason for that is because, well, he actually has the swag that pickup artists actually have. So, I mean, he's a single guy. He lets it be known, look, I'm not here to find a wife. I'm only here to hook up and have fun. And guess what happens? He actually finds women not only willing to hook up with him, but he also finds women who are willing to drop everything and marry him. I don't know why that works, so to speak. I guess it falls along the lines of women want a bad boy, so to speak. But really, do they really want a bad boy? Do they really want a player? The answer is no. Actually, women, what they really want is someone who is articulate in how they talk to them. They want somebody who is kind-hearted, but someone who's also very domineering, somebody very strong and has a very strong and dominant personality. Somebody that gets things done and they're very successful in life. So that's what they want because why? They want someone to provide for them, but they also want a guy who's very, very good in bed. And if you're bad in bed, well, I don't know what to tell you other than try to get better. I really don't know. But that's a game I guess you have to work on, so to speak. Anyway, I'm not the most professional expert at I guess giving dating advice, so to speak. I mean, all I could say, if you're looking to find a wife, Tinder is a great option. And to be honest, you can easily transition from being a hoe bag to being a husband material if you want to be, but you got to find the right girl that you're willing to settle down with, which can be a very, very hard thing to do. My only advice is, well, don't swing at the first pitch because if you do, you're probably going to get a very unattractive girl or you're going to get a girl you really don't want to be with. So anyway, let's see what this guy has to say, if his advice is any way possibly legit, and can we learn something from it?
I'm going to show you how to have a same night lay from Tinder and other dating apps. Now this may sound totally crazy, but there's girls who use online dating because they're horny and they want to have sex that same night. So in this video, I'm going to show you what signs to look for and how you can go about making that happen so that you get laid, she gets laid, and everyone wins.
Okay, I will say this about women. All right, they play this game that my friend calls they try to be as pure as the driven snow, or at least have that appearance that they want you as the guy to think that they don't ever think about sex and that is never an option. And you know, dude, that's not that. Nothing could be further from the truth. Women are just like men. They want exactly what you want, but in their own way, and how they get it good is, well, it's a bit different. Okay, so anyway, their self-image is very important to them, so they don't want other people to know that, well, hey, they like having intercourse with strangers, or, you know, they want to find a guy with no strings attached and this and that. What if my husband finds out? They have a lot at stake. So if it's found out that their, you know, image is tarnished, well, their world comes crashing down, and they can't have that. And that is why, in my opinion, and also because the safety factor, they don't want to get killed. That is why they don't want to just simply come to your house right away. They want to get to know you and meet in public first. So if you're trying to find a wife or a girlfriend online, remember this. Take your time, get to know them, and don't expect to get laid on the first night like this guy tells you to do, because chances are it may not happen. And if it does, you might be getting with a fatty. All
right, so when it comes to having a same night lay, there's essentially 5 things you need to keep in mind. First is making sure the girl's actually interested in having sex that night. So this is one that unfortunately a lot of guys get wrong. They either fail to pick up on the signs the girl is giving them and they continue to banter and banter to no end, or maybe they set up a date a week from now and then the girl goes out and finds another guy that night and then she's no longer interested. Or on the other end of the spectrum, maybe the girl's interested in hanging out with them, but she's just not free that night. But they push and push for the same night lay. They misinterpret her interest for interest in a same night lay, and they blow it out because they just become too pushy for that same night's lay. So I think this is going to become a lot more clear as we walk through, all the examples I'm going to show you guys. You're going to be able to kind of see, okay, what are the telltale signs the girl's interested and how to properly capitalize on it. This leads me to point number 2. You have to actually make this shit happen. Even if she is, giving you massive signs that she's horny that night, you still have to lead and you still have to make this happen. So you're going to throw out some feeler text, which I'm going to show you guys. And if it seems like she's interested, again, in a same night lay, then you have to set the whole thing up and make it go down. Third, you have to remove pretty much all obstacles, at least all the obstacles that you can. So let's look at it this way, right? This is a girl's desire to get laid that night, and then some obstacles might pop up. If the obstacles become greater than her desire, then sex does not happen. What you can do is make this whole thing as simple and straightforward as possible and remove all these obstacles, especially logistical ones, to make sure that her desire is greater than the obstacles. Point number 4. Don't get needy. This is, commonly happens to the girl. It looks like it's going good. It looks like sex is about to happen that day. And then the girl maybe, has a concern, or maybe, she just takes a shower and she forgets to check her phone. And the guy gets super anxious and starts blowing up her phone. And then the girl's like, ooh, this guy's super needy. And then she changes her mind and, the whole thing doesn't go down. So the paradox.
I'd like to piggyback off of that. Okay, so if you're a handsome guy, I don't care how many times you go to the gym in the week. I don't care how good looking you are, how big and nice and full your beard is, and whatever. Okay. No matter how muscular, handsome, dominant you may be, if you're a needy type of man, you will never get the girl you want. Point blank. If you're emotionally distraught at a moment's notice when she can't text you back or something like that, you need to chill out, man, because it's not going to happen. But I like this guy, not just for the simple fact that he tries to teach guys how to get laid, so to speak, but this is actually very useful. These are actually very useful skills on how to get a wife or a girlfriend, because honestly, women want dominant, strong, leadership type men and not weak, pushover kind of men. They want you to be strong. They want you to be a leader. And they want you to have some game as well. Know how to seal the deal, dude. Okay, let's continue.
Toxical thing is that you have to be okay.
And I have to say this, dude, look at this couch. You see this couch? This couch has seen a lot of action. All right, let's continue.
With this whole thing not happening in order for it to happen, the majority of the time. And 5th is mirroring the girl's vibe. So if the girl is being, super implicit and laid back, like most of the time the girl aren't going to be like, hey, I'm really horny and I want some dick tonight. They're going to be a little bit more low-key about it. Then you're also going to be more laid back and low-key. Now, if she's being very direct and explicit, then you're also going to be very direct and explicit. And by mirroring her vibe, you're going to kind of put her at ease and make the whole thing much more likely to go down and make her more comfortable with the idea of having sex with a stranger. All right, so let's take a look at some examples.
First, let me add to this that you could have like really bad game in certain areas. Like, for example, this guy's house is probably very regular. Look at his couch, look at his apartment, so to speak. There's nothing impressive about it, but I guarantee you this guy gets more girls than your average dude because he's got a lot of intelligence and he knows a lot of secrets and he knows how to play the game. Okay, so if you want to learn how to get a girl, this guy, I definitely recommend him. So let me thumbs that up, bro. You got this. Continue, master.
Now, this first one I used in the video on picking up on cues, but I also want to use it here because I think it works really well just to the fact that it's super straightforward and it's going to set down a nice baseline for us to look at. So this girl opens me and says, hey, what are you up to? So when a girl opens you, it definitely, is a point in the I want to fuck that night camp, but it doesn't always mean that. There's going to be quite often where a girl opens you and she's not even free that night. So it's a sign, but it's not, it's not a key thing. I say finishing some work, how about you? So here what I'm doing is I'm pinging and I'm trying to gather more information. Her response to this is gonna, direct me further to see if she's just trying to hang out in general, or she wants to fuck that night, or she's somewhere in the middle. And she says work on a Sunday, that sucks, trying to figure out how to make the weekend last longer. So that's a very clear sign that she's interested in fucking probably tonight. So I say, perhaps you can be my distraction then. So here I'm picking up on her sign and moving things forward. Again, you have to be the one that makes it happen. She gives you the sign that she wants to happen.
And to anybody onlooking and thinking, dear God, like this sounds this sounds like objectifying of women so badly. And you would be correct. However, I wouldn't quite call this misogyny. It's just honestly what it is. It's skill and it's finesse. With guys like this, they really know how to rope them in for their own purposes. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you, but all I could say is, man, if you're a guy and you want a girl, he's got some great tips. Just pardon the language. The language is it's pretty heavy. So but I mean he's good, man. He's really freaking good.
But then you need to be the one that actually leads. She says, that sounds fun. And here I say, what are you looking for on here? And to be honest, this text was pretty much completely unnecessary. I already have enough buy-in from her at this point that I don't really need to do this. But anyway, the goal was just to gather more investment. She says, meet new people and have fun. How about you? So that's another sign that she's DTF. I say, yeah, same, kinky sex and cuddles. She says, kinky how? I say, spanking, hair pulling, leaving marks, especially on your ass. So I had a feeling she was going to be into that. Plus, it's a pretty general answer. I think most girls are going to be more or less down with something like that.
Okay, so one thing I need to mention here, if you're going to get online to try to find a wife or a girlfriend, the first thing that you have to do before anything else is build your profile. And one thing I've noticed with men is they'll take these really close-up pictures of themselves like this, like right up to the camera, and they don't smile. They don't have, I mean, their pictures are as bland as my room. I mean, my room is very regular, very bland. Okay. I'm just doing videos like this to have fun. But if you were actually taking pictures, or if I was actually taking pictures for women to see, yeah, no, it would be like, I would look my best. Because why? Because you're putting yourself on the dating market. You want to sell a product, which is yourself. You want to sell that. But yeah, he's got some great tips on how to build your profile. So if you really kind of want to check that out, go take a look. And really, I know it sounds, like objectifying of women, but really, like, you need, as a man, you need these skills for life. I mean, you really do. Like, women are like money. You got to have, it's good to have a lot of both. But yeah, you should definitely settle with one. That's my official answer, and that's what we're going to stick to today.
She says, sounds hot. I've actually got bruises down my legs from some activity last week. So again, now I'm going to, move things forward. We got, several texts of her buying into this whole idea. So I say, cool, why don't you come over? Spelled C-U-M. She says, okay, about what time? So that's, another confirmation text. She's asking buying questions like what time, what's the address? I say 7:30. And when it comes to logistics, you don't need to go, like some guys try to overdo it and they try to be like too dominant, say, get your ass here at 8 o'clock. Basically, the way I treat logistics with girls is the same way I would treat logistics with friends. I wouldn't be like, yo, bro, get your fucking ass here at 8 o'clock. I'd be like, hey, man, how does 8 o'clock sound like that? So same exact kind of principle. She says that works. I'll run into the shower.
I mean, notice here he uses subtle hints. I mean, not overly sexual, not overly overdoing it. I mean, he's just kind of being direct, but being subtle at the same time. And he's playing it cool, and he's being calm, collected. So that right there is going to win him any kind of woman he wants. He's going to get the girl that wants to like leave her husband to be with him. He's going to get the girl that that's a fresh virgin and she's never been with a guy and she wants to marry this guy. He's gonna get a lot of girls, or at least he's gonna have a lot of options, I should say. Doesn't necessarily means he should get with all of them, because that, my friends, is playing with fire, just like his little title says. So, anyway, I think we're gonna wrap this up a little bit.
Real quick. Reading,
Jump to the
and I
end.
say, even better, it's good. Finish a killer workout, looking nice and fit for our date. So that's my pinging text. And her response to this is going to tell me whether she's, DTF that night or not even sure about the idea of meeting, or she's somewhere in between. And so she says, and when is it? So she's asking a buying question, which definitely puts her in this category. Like, these are the questions you want to see. Like, where do you live? Do you have roommates? When are we meeting? Like, these are good questions to, be asked. I say depends. Do you like wine? And I could have easily said, are you feeling spontaneous tonight? There's, kind of numerous directions I could have gone in, as long as I'm direct. She says, I do like drinking it. Good, come join me for a glass. So here is my attempt at making it happen. I'm inviting her. She says, where are you then? I give her my address, and that's good because she's asking me another buying question. She says, I can get there in half an hour. Will you be there then? If you notice, I'm always saying, like, whenever we're getting into these kinds of questions, I'm always giving yes, yes, yes. Like, I'm trying to make it happen.
Let me just point this out and I'll be done. But notice he probably has never told them what kind of car he drives, what kind of job he has, what kind of shoes he wears. Like, none of that. It all boiled down to two things: having a really good profile that looked sharp, and then number two, knowing how to talk to these women. And like, these women just threw themselves at him. I mean, if you watch his videos, like, literally you can see he shows you all the text messages. Like, they're throwing themselves at this guy. So he's got some really good advice, and check him out if you think that's worth your while. If you're a woman, well, I don't know what to tell you then, other than like, hey, you're a prize to be won, and guys are going to try to win you over. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. If you want other kind of reviews on something, let me know and leave a comment. Otherwise, you'll have a great night.